This is T. Spellman, and I have put together a brief slideshow with accompanying videos to show my experience with Panorama so far and to show where I may have an issue. I teach graphic design both in a face-to-face as well as an online class situation. Since the pandemic a couple of years back, when we all had to be remote, I made a practice to make most of my assignments and instructions available via video. This is primarily because graphic design is a visual subject, and my students tend to respond best to instructions that they can continually return to and use again and again should they become lost or miss something that I have lectured on during class. So far, I have found Panorama to be great where written instructions or assignments is concerned. For example, here inside one of my Canvas shells, I have made an assignment in which I want the students to complete a procedure in Illustrator and turn it in via the instructions that I had previously provided them in the pre-semester module. This is key to understanding how to turn in assignments so that they can be retrieved in the future by both myself and my students, and it's also the industry standard for organizational purposes. If I click on the assessment icon, I get 100%, and even though I received that previously, I went back and made some adjustments to the text that I currently had posted. Thus, this becomes an excellent tool for instructors to proofread and, for lack of better terminology, proof audio what they have written. The font size was fine as I always print my instructions out at least 18-point type. One of the things that I teach besides pure graphic design is typography, and the greatest thing that I emphasize for my students is contrast and clarity when it comes to type. Because of that, I may tend to come down on the too big in terms of font size range of things, so no problem there. However, what I found when I used the immersive reader was that I was making some assumptions about verbiage that might not otherwise be clearly spelled out when the immersive reader misinterprets some of the terms that I was using. This caused me to go back and add in some parenthetical information as well as add some definitions that weren't previously there. Things like dots per inch, what a PDF actually was, and making sure that the abbreviations for various apps were clearly marked, like adding in parentheses Illustrator for AI, because the immersive reader made some interesting interpretations of those abbreviations. I also found that my hyperlink at the end of the assignment where I'm asking students to upload to OneDrive to be somewhat confusing. Here then is that video. Have a look, listen to what the immersive reader says over my text.
Illustrator Day 1 for this first assignment, I want you to go and find a product box. Cereal box is ideal. You want something that is the correct size to fit into the scanners here in A115. Most cereal boxes will be around 7¾ inches in width by about 11 inches in height. This will fit into a scanner just fine. Alternatively, you can find a cereal box example in any store and photograph that with your smartphone. We can adjust the dots per inch situation on the fly. If using a scanner here in the classroom, I want you to scan this at 300 dots per inch to get the maximum resolution necessary to do the image trace in Illustrator. Your scan should be in a JPEG format. Either save this file to your peripheral drive or email it to yourself. I will be showing you how to do this in class. Once you are back at your workstation here in the classroom, I want you to find this file. Place it into a folder marked as follows using the protocols described in the How to Turn in Assignments video that we just watched. For example, meet_s_assignment 1. This is the way I want all of your folders labeled going forward, but be sure to use your own name. Now that you have the image, JPEG, in the file, you are going to open up the Illustrator app using the Launchpad on your computer. The Illustrator app is marked AI. Once that is open, you will be placing your scanned image into Illustrator following the directions in the video image trace assignment. Follow along with the directions in the video. Once completed, your image should be divided up in at least 16-17 distinct layers within Illustrator, and this is the Illustrator file that you should then place into your assignment folder and submit to Canvas. At this point, your folder will need to be relabeled, again using your name, as follows: meet_s_assignment 1 image trace. Once you have both the JPEG and the Illustrator file in the folder, zip and compress the folder, which will now be labeled Submit to Canvas. Meet_s_assignment 1 image trace.zip. For this very first assignment, we will not be doing a class critique. When complete, also include a screen capture /JPEG or PNG portable network graphics file, along with your Illustrator file. I.ai. Note, the need for PNGs, portable network graphics file. JPEGs, a popular digital image format that uses lossy compression to significantly reduce file size, or PDF, portable document file, are used interchangeably with your assignment so that anyone can open these files in the absence of having Illustrator installed on their computer. This is important where viewers of your work may not have the same fonts or background files that you use to compose a document. The PNG, JPG and PDF format ensure that no matter what the situation is, your document will appear to the view as you saw it when creating it. Label all of this as follows: meet_s_assignment 1 image trace and submit that to OneDrive to this link. Item number 1 assignment 1 image trace review drop folder. https://mchenry.calic.mydat.share.underscore mchenry_mut0y8vf8hpk1kx8u7k6mbwk83L3zk8d3L3zk8d3L3zk8d3L3
Now, I have some issues with Panorama currently, primarily with the accessibility of my video instructions. I'm going to show 2 examples here. The first example is one that I worked with Pete Lilly on. After I learned that the videos would work without having to have them made public in YouTube, we discovered that this wasn't quite true. So Pete had me take one of my previous videos that I had made public and put it into my existing Open Canvas shell and entitle it Test Video. We then, using the embedding code from the public video in YouTube, copied that into Canvas. This worked and resulted in a video which then obtained a 100% accessibility rating. The accessibility report indicates this, and the video plays just fine. What had brought this to my attention, and the reason why I involved Pete, was that I had been informed that we, that is the instructors, were not going to have to make all of our YouTube videos public. The vast majority of mine are currently unlisted, and this will be a considerable undertaking because I have close to 1,700 videos that will all need to be recategorized. No small task. As can be seen here, the video in question only receives a 30% rating, which I'm afraid will not pass muster when the Panorama accessibility tool is made mandatory next April. However, if you click on the accessibility report icon to see what the remedy might be, you are informed that you need to make the video public, which I had been told was not going to be the case. That is, there had been some indication that Panorama was working on a solution to this that might not require us to redo all of our videos from unlisted to public. I might also add here that last week when I clicked on the accessibility report icon, it showed that the video was not able to be viewed at all, and that is not the case presently. Indication perhaps that some changes might be being made to Panorama? As a matter of fact, when you click on the video, not only does it play. All right, there may be some sputters and starts and stops here. My plan is to show you the importance of keeping the closed captioning from YouTube also works just fine. I would like very much not to have to reclassify over 1,000 videos in order to make them function in the Panorama accessibility tool. I just wanted to put this video together to show you and to hopefully spell out what I see as a potential hurdle coming up. Hopefully, Panorama is working on something as I speak to address this. Thank you for your consideration.